Hey everyone, I'm Joel on the road, and today my UNESCO World Heritage journey is at the Roman and Romanesque monuments of Arles, southern France. This is the city of Arles in southern France, and it was once a very important Roman city, and there's an incredible legacy of that left behind for us to explore. And the first place to check out is naturally the amphitheatre, dating from the 1st century. Now, it's not the largest Roman amphitheatre, it's apparently about 20th on the list, size-wise. But what's fascinating about it is that once the empire collapsed, it was repurposed into a fortress and a housing neighbourhood, which is why it has towers scattered around the edges, which is really unique, I think. Unfortunately, none of the houses that were constructed in here, over 200 of them in fact, none of them have survived into the modern era. They were all torn down in the 19th century. Now, of course, Roman entertainment falls broadly into two categories: blood sport, like we saw at the amphitheatre, with gladiator fights and animal hunts and that sort of stuff, and brain sport, like you get at the theatre, plays, comedies and dramas and the like. And this is the Roman theatre here in Arles. It would have originally held around 10,000 spectators, and that's not particularly large by Roman standards, but it's still very, very impressive. Sadly, there's not much left of the stage, but what I find fascinating is that, again, like the amphitheatre, this would have been a housing district during the Middle Ages, packed full of stone houses. Sadly, there's nothing left of it now. This is the Church of Saint-Trophime, and it dates largely from the 11th and 12th centuries. The facade here is an absolute masterpiece of Romanesque sculpture because we have the Last Judgment, Christ in the centre, surrounded by the symbols of Matthew, Mark, Luke and John. On this side we have the righteous going up to heaven, and on this side we have chained people going down to hell. Underneath everything we have the 12 apostles and then local saints as well. It's an absolute masterpiece of Romanesque sculpture, and it's very, very beautiful. And so this is the Cloister here in the Church of Saint-Trophime, and it's one of the best preserved Romanesque portals anywhere in the world. Now, it dates largely from the 12th century, and it's just really, really well preserved. The intricacies of the carvings, particularly on the columns, is just really, really beautiful. And so our final stop here in Arles is this area known as the Alyscamps, or the City of the Dead. Now, this is a Roman era cemetery just outside the old walls, because the Romans would of course build their cemeteries alongside the roads leading out of town. Naturally, nobody wanted to live next to decomposing bodies. And it was actually still used as a graveyard right through until the Middle Ages, when a lot of the stones started to be stripped and looted. These days, it's a beautiful parkland area, and it was actually immortalised by painters like Van Gogh and Gauguin. Well, it's been an interesting World Heritage Site, this one. There's some really fantastic architecture here, and it's really interesting as well to see how the fortunes of the town are reflected in that architecture, the rise and the fall, and the subsequent rise again. Very interesting. But that's it from me. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm Joel on the road, and I'll see you at the next World Heritage Site.